Hello and welcome to the Cottage of Chaos and Mayhem. The kids are the chaos, the rest is just mayhem. And in today's tutorial, I am going to be showing you how to make this lovely choker called the Nightmare Choker of my own design. Now, if you like this tutorial and you do want to support me, you can buy the written pattern on Etsy, Tido, Ko-fi, and it is available for gold tier patrons on my Patreon. So if you want to support me, you can do that, but today I'm going to be showing you how to make it for free. Now usually I would use DK yarn, but I do know that this pattern does work with other yarns as well. This is not DK, this is a 4-ply yarn that this one was made out of. Please do bear in mind that depending on the yarn you use depends on what the size will be. So this one is quite dainty. Today, for today's purposes, I'm using some leftover 4-ply yarn. Now you will need a crochet hook, some sewing needles. I'm sort of collecting these from my I Made It So You Don't Have To series. I'm going to have to work out something to do with these tubes because I've got loads of them now. And it is optional, beads. I like to glamour it up a bit. So, oh, and you may want a clasp, but in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to do a tie-back clasp. I usually use grip clasps, as you can see here, which you would need pliers to grip it in to place, and they are quite sturdy and quite good, and they are available on Amazon at a pretty reasonable price, to be fair. So you can use them as well. Again, you have to use grip pliers to grip that both sides and also to attach the chain. So let's get started, shall we? This should create a 30cm choker. Now if you want to adjust this pattern to fit your size, you would do you would work in a multiple foot, and then you would add 2 on for your turning chain. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 82 and then an extra 2 for our turning chain, meaning we need to chain 84. So with our 3mm hook, we're going to start chaining. And if you don't know how to chain, I do have a tutorial for that available on my Learn How to Crochet tutorial playlist. So let's go. Currently I have 4, 5, 6, Next up, in our 3rd chain from the hook, we are going to work a half double crochet. Then we're going to half double crochet across the row. So if you're not sure on half double crochet, I do have a tutorial for that as well available. But to refresh your memory, yarn over, insert your hook into the chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. Again, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So it's as simple as that, and we're going to do that in each chain across the row. Until we have 82 stitches. should now have 82 half double crochets. Now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and what we're going to do now is we're going to do 2 half double crochets, chain 1, 2 half double crochets. Okay, so 1 half double crochet, 2 half double crochets, chain 1, half double crochet again in the same stitch, and again in the same stitch. Now we're going to skip 3 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th stitch we're going to do 2 half double crochets, chain 1, 2 half double crochets again. And we are going to do this across the row. So again, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, 4th one, 2 half double crochets, chain 1, 2 half double crochets, all in the same stitch. One more time, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, 4th stitch is where we're working. Just going to keep repeating that all the way along until we are at the end of the row. Now, you may have noticed, once you got to the end of the row, that there's this little stitch left and gone, ah, what do I do? Well, rest assured, there is something that we do, and we're not going to do what we've been doing across the row. We're just going to work 1 half double crochet into that last stitch. So there you are. Should be starting to look a little bit like, well, it should be looking like this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, we're going to slip stitch up the side of our choker, and then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now this counts as the first half double crochet, chain 1. So skip 1 stitch and work 1 half double crochet, chain 1. So if you look, skip that one, hit that one. Chain 1, and again we're going to skip 1 stitch and we're going to half double crochet into the next stitch, and again chain 1. half double crochet, skip 1 stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch, and chain 1, skip 1 stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch, and chain 1, and again half double skip a stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch, and chain 1, and it should be starting to look a little bit like that. So again, we're going to do that all the way to the end of the row. So it should now be looking something a little bit like this. Well, it should be looking like this, should I say. Now this next part is very much dependent on what you're wanting your choker to look like. I'm adding 3 little charms, so I'm going to need 3 stitch markers. If you're not adding any beads, that is entirely up to you. You don't need any stitch markers. If you're adding just 1, you'll need 1 stitch marker. So it's very dependent on what you're wanting to make. So first we're going to count the number of shells on the outside of the choker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Perfect, because there should be an odd number of shells. So now I'm going to add where I want my first bead to go, and for this, in previous ones I've kind of evenly spaced them, like in this one. On this one I'm not going to. So I have 21, so the middle stitch would be, let's check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not quite the middle, 11. So I'm going to place the stitch marker in the 11th. Because that's where my big charm is going to go. So now I want to do 1 either side bead. So I'm thinking here and here. There is something that is a little bit clever with this pattern as well, which I'll show you later, for a more experienced crocheter, because quite often I don't use stitch markers. I'm only using them for the purpose of this video. So let's get on with the next part, shall we? So we have our stitch markers placed, or not, depending on what you're doing with yours. And now we're going to get our yarn. We are going to slip stitch down back to the shells. Okay, so now we need to slip stitch to the first chain 1 space of our second row. So now in the first chain 1 space. So I'm going to chain 1 and we're going to single crochet into the chain 1 space. Now we're going to do a chain 2 picot. So chain 2, and now we're going to picot the stitch. So we're going to work our hook into the side of our single crochet, and we're going to slip stitch. And now we're going to work another single crochet. Now we're going to slip stitch to the next chain 1 space. Chain 1, work 1 single crochet, chain 2, and we're going to picot. So we're going to work into the side of the single crochet and slip stitch, and single crochet again. So we're going to do that one more time. I'm going to slip stitch, chain 1 and single crochet into the chain 1 space, chain 2, slip stitch into the side of our single crochet, and another single crochet. Now on the next shelf we're going to do it a little bit differently, and this is how I manage to keep track as to where I'm going to place my beads usually, because I'm always losing stitch markers. I have a toddler who seems to think it's hilarious to run off with them and never return them. I have that many stitch markers in this house, and I'm very lucky if I can find one. So I created it so that I would be able to know which stitch, well, which part was going to be for a bead or a charm. So we slip stitch to the chain 1 space, chain 1, single crochet, and this time I'm going to chain 3. Slip, I'm going to picot it again, and then single crochet into the space. Now it doesn't look like a huge difference. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to slip stitch a bit further down so I can show you. Okay, so it doesn't look all that different. When I'm looking at it, it's just got that slight little difference that I can notice because it's got a chain 3 instead of a chain 2. So it just makes it like my own little built-in stitch marker into the pattern. So if I can just show you, that's the chain 3 and there the chain 2. Is that slightly, just that little bit bigger, and I can see all 3 chains. That is my clever little built-in stitch marker, because I have a toddler who runs off with my stitch markers. You don't have to do the chain 3 picot, but that is just what I've done it in the pattern as my own little stitch marker rescue. If you want, you can change where you want to have the chain 3 picot. If you get to know the difference between the two and can spot the difference, use them as a stitch marker like I do. So in the pattern, I've written it as being every so many every so many shells, but you can literally move them around, use them if you want to. You don't have to use them. But for me, I find it so handy by the fact that I'm constantly unable to find my stitch markers. So yeah. So, just going to carry it on doing, oh, I'm doing a half double crochet there. Single crochet, chain 2. Peacock and single crochet, and then slip stitch across again. So again, we're at our first stitch marker now. So what I do personally, usually I would have threaded my beads, my charm straight on before I'd have started. But what I do is I single crochet, chain 1, and then I have thankfully cut plenty of yarn so that I can show you, and I'll have plenty left over. I get my charm, awkwardly thread it through, picked the worst charms for this. Just a moment. So, is I would chain 2 more, one with the charm on, like so, and again, then I would peacock stitch like so, and then another single crochet, and that secures my charm without me having to sew, because I am not the biggest fan of sewing. So I can take this stitch marker off. You can just sew them on afterwards if you like, but personally that's how I like to do it. In this one, I'm going to just do a chain 2 peacock, so a single crochet next, and slip stitch along, to the next one, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, and get my next charm. Which thankfully has a bigger hoop. again, and one more time. Peacock. In the stitch. And then single crochet. So remove my stitch marker and onto the next one. One, single crochet, 2, peacock, single crochet. Slip stitch all the way to the next one. Just going to take the stitch marker out because I know this is going to be the last one. One, single crochet, chain one, get my awkward charm with the teeny tiny loop. One and chain another and single crochet and then just carry on with the normal rhythm. Till you get to the end of the row. Like I say, the chain 3, great for if you're sewing them on, which I do sometimes do, and if you can't find stitch markers. But it is totally optional. It is entirely up to you if you want to do it, or you can do it the way I've just done it. It's a very handy little option. Now you slip stitch right to the end of the row, and for your tie on clasp or your tie, what we're going to do is we are going to slip stitch into the center of the choker. Just chain. So that's 20 chains. I'm going to go probably with 30. So yeah, 35 for tying. Cut yarn. Pull through. We're going to reattach our yarn to the other side in the center. And just chain the same amount as we've just done. And cut your yarn and pull through. I've been playing chicken yarn for this, so now you have your choker. So now just weave in your ends and that's it, done. So there you have it. Now that your ends are weaved in, you have a beautiful choker. You can just tie around. If you liked this video, please do press that like button and subscribe, because I post a tutorial every week. I alternate between foundation stitch tutorials and full patterns like this one. And don't forget to comment as well. All the engagement does help in growing my channel. If you'd like to support me and what I'm doing here, then please do go and take a look at my Patreon, my Etsy store, Ko-fi, Tido, where I do sell patterns like this, and I sell other much bigger patterns. And please do stay tuned, because I have my new series called I Made It So You Don't Have To, where I am trialing different AI generated crochet pattern kits off Temu to show what the issues are, why they work, why they don't work, and I've been pulling my hair out a few times with that. But yeah, so please do go give me a subscription, and I hope to see you next week. Bye! Oh, and I totally forgot to mention, a big thank you to these guys who tested the pattern for me. And if you'd like the chance to have your name at the end of one of my pattern videos, please do go and join me on Instagram or join us in my Discord server. Links will be in the description down below.